I'm live. Everybody come in. If you are watching on Facebook at SHERIDA LOVELACE Ministries, we are getting ready to start another broadcast of the Triumphant Show. So just come on in. We have not officially started, so you have a moment to share with your friends and your family. I'm excited about the show tonight, so take a minute, get comfortable and relax. Grab your teacup. Grab your cup of water, your hot tea, take off your day pajamas and put on your night pajamas and get ready to have some fun with me tonight. Tonight, I just call it the oil of joy because God is just awesome and his grace is awesome. So come on in. And we have a great show coming in on tonight. So we're just going to do a little bit of technical sharing right now as we get prepared. I have an awesome guest tonight. And as you get prepared, and we are going to go at it. So again, come on in. We have a great show tonight. I am super excited about the show and my guest. So come on in. Let me see who I can see so far watching the show. Come on in. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Brian. Thanks for joining. Thank you guys so much. Come hang out with me for a little bit. All right, let's get this to the second page. Again, we are informally preparing to start another broadcast of the Triumphant Show. So I, as always, am super excited to be with you on tonight. Let me wipe my glasses down a little bit. So again, if you have to share with friends and family, this is a great time to do that. Grab your hot tea, that cup of water. I hope everybody's had a good day. If you are catching this replay, I hope that your day has gone well and that since the airing of this broadcast that things have been awesome for you. And I send a special shout out and blessing to those who are watching in other nations. We are a global broadcast, glory to God. And so God bless everybody from wherever you're watching from, the UK, Nigeria, Canada, over in the eastern part of the world. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the Triumphant Show. We're going to give it just about 1 or 2 more minutes for us to get started. And we're going to bring my guest on in just a moment and get ready to start the show. Again, I am super excited about tonight. Super excited about tonight. So come on in and go ahead and share with your family and friends. Give us about 30 more seconds and I'm going to formally begin our broadcast. So hurry up and get those daytime pajamas off. It's nighttime and we're about to hang out together for a little while and my awesome guest. Again, tonight, I just call it a night that is a night of joy. It's just one of those kind of days, about 15 more seconds and we'll get started. All right. Hopefully everybody is getting set up and they have their coffee and tea or whatever you're drinking tonight and you are ready to go. Hey, Patrick. God bless you all the way from the West Side, California. Thank you. Thank you for just showing your face. God bless you on tonight. All right. We are getting ready to formally start the show on tonight. Jerry, when you're ready, you just give me a thumbs up as we get ready to go. Awesome. Awesome. I do want to give a couple of announcements before I bring my guest onto the screen. Listen. First of all, just welcome again to another broadcast of the Triumphant Radio Show, TV show for the nation, show for your family, your friends, show that edifies, a show that continuously brings you good news and that shows how trials can go to triumph, a show that sits in and responds to 2 Corinthians, but thanks be to God who always leads us in a voice of triumph. And I just praise God that this truly is a platform where victory repeats itself. So no matter what you go through or no matter what you have heard about what people go through, no matter what you're seeing right now in the world or that's happening around your personal life, listen, God is so victorious. I did a post earlier today that was just simply Amazing Grace. Y'all remember singing Amazing Grace in church? If you went to church, maybe a Baptist church or something, you remember singing that song and it's still relevant today. It just illuminated in my spirit. And I just want to speak over your life that as you go through this night forward, that you not only remember how amazing God's grace is, but guess what? It's sufficient for you. No matter what your situation has been, no matter how you have felt, what's going on with you, his grace is sufficient. That's what makes it amazing. And so you just declare over your life, amazing, 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 amazing grace, because we don't deserve it, but God just gives it to us, and he loves us that much. So check out that post. Listen, I also want to remind you, if you have not already, tonight is the last night to vote for the awesome nominees, which includes us, the Triumphant family, for the Spin Awards happening late October 2020, even including my guest who has been nominated. This is not his first award. There's been so many, but we want to just celebrate everybody who's been nominated. Thanks to the Spin Award team and staff. And also, if you have not, you still have just a few minutes to go and vote. So make sure you make a note that after this show, you go and vote for the Triumphant show, and you vote for, I always forget the titles because I don't absorb that in. I just like to do what God calls me to do. But look for the Triumphant show for Best Internet Station of the Year. I think I have it right. And my name, SHERIDA Lovelace, as Internet Host of the Year. So glory to God. We're just going to keep doing what God says. God says, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto thee. So our purpose and our goal here on the Triumphant Show is just to lift up the name of the Lord. Amen. Amen. All right. So do that. And I'll have some other flyers coming up from some people that are doing some things that I said I would share on my timeline. So just stay connected with me on social media. On Facebook at SHERIDA Lovelace, SHERIDA Lovelace Ministries, and on Twitter and Instagram. So listen, I'm about to bring my guest on into the stream. I'm so excited to have him here on tonight. It's going to be a fun show, an awesome show. We won't even get through everything. I'll tell you all right now, we won't, but I'm excited that he is here with me on tonight. So again, welcome everybody to the Triumphant broadcast, the place where victory repeats itself. And again, I am SHERIDA Lovelace. So listen, tonight I'm going to share just a little bit of background about my awesome guest, my brother, my friend, family. I call him family just because that's the spirit he exudes from the moment I've met him. Just family, pure, genuine, and has not changed since the first day that I connected. And I'm so grateful for people like that, especially in the media industry, where you get people that are up and down based off of their temperature. But when you have someone that just loves what they do and loves people, it shows, and you can see how the fruit from their labor actually really manifests itself just because they carry a genuine spirit of God. So I am excited, y'all. Let me just tell you a little bit about my guest, and then we're going to have him talk because we have a lot to talk about. Okay. So, Jerry Royce is here to probably my right, your left, depending on what screen you are looking at. He is the founder and CEO of Positive Power 21 Christian Media. Some of the key nuggets of this awesome man of God. He has an AA degree in graphic designs. He has a bachelor's degree in corporate communications. So, you know, he's intelligent. He has all the skills to get it done. Glory to God. But what was so interesting as I read his bio, and there's so much more, so you all will have to get a hold of it one day. He took night classes while he was getting his degree and cable TV production. So when you want to talk about somebody that's serious about their craft, and that has really the gift of it, and that has the characteristics to identify it, but wants to study it and receive from others. Come on. We can't speak any more about how awesome that is. Let me tell you, he oversees the operations of a Maryland-based internet radio station, collaboration with so many people. That's a whole nother story, which is awesome. The internet radio station, television and film company, also with TV operations here in Atlanta, Georgia. So we are in 2 different states. So shout out to the crew where Jerry is, and shout out to everybody here in Atlanta. So I love the collaboration. I love how he opens doors to people to be developed and trained in this industry, and also to showcase them on a platform that is not only in his state, but in other states and in other countries. Let me tell you, they have received over 55 radio and TV nominations for broadcasting and partnerships. Awesome. He's produced several films, and the list goes on and on and on. And so that just gives you a little tip of the iceberg and a nugget of who we have on this platform and how skilled and awesome they are. But what is so wonderful to me is that we have someone who, again, is humble, so welcoming, very creative, totally artistic, and can walk the walk what he talks and practices what he preaches. And so, Jerry, welcome to the Triumphant Show.
Hey, thank you, Sherida, for having us.
Hey, I'm so happy that y'all are here. I'm excited just to share and illuminate what God is doing in your lives and what's going on with you yourself as being the CEO and the things that are coming up. And we'll get to that definitely. I do know that a lot of also what is entailed with Positive Power and more is a collaboration with your family as well. Yeah. But before we go back to all of these awesome accolades and the things that you are doing and how God is just thriving in your ministry and your business, I want to go back to who Jerry was before all this even happened. Tell the triumphant audience who Jerry Royce is. Did you have any stories that led you into this place? Anything that was traumatic for you growing up that people can know and be inspired by who you are today?
Well, before all this started, I used to like ticking around with electronics. My dad actually had started a television repair company with his best friend when they got out of the military. You know, some years later after he had his family and, you know, coaching Little League, all that stuff was over. He decided to start a business because at the time television was moving in a different direction and VCRs were coming out and all kind of media stuff. So he wanted me to, you know, to go in with him and learn how to fix stuff. But I really didn't want to fix stuff. I used to just like to make it do stuff, you know, big things, you know. So I found out later on when CB radios came out, I think it was in the late 70s. I think I just came out of junior high school or something, that I had a fascination for broadcasting. But I really wasn't all that truly, you know, amazed by the people that were already on the radio, because I always feel like you need to invent yourself. You know, I always believe that everybody's built differently. You know, God created you differently. So you come up with your own identity. So when I was in high school, I built a radio that was parts from a walkie-talkie and a record player. And I turned it into a receiving station. And my parents was like truly amazed. And I actually entered a high school. I was actually going to an engineering school for high school. And I entered a science fair, won it for the school, and went on to Johns Hopkins to compete for the state. And I came in runner up. The guy that beat me, he actually was growing plants in the dark. I know.
Come on now. Okay.
I know. I can't believe it. I guess they didn't really believe what they saw. They probably thought it was a kit, but I built everything from scratch, you know, everything. Had working antennas and all. So anyway, from there, I really wanted to go to radio broadcasting school, but my dad was like, no, nobody's going to leave the state or whatever he said, leave the city, probably the neighborhood. And I ended up going to community college first because I guess him and my mom wanted to see if I was serious because they had all their intentions to invest in my sister and not me and my brother. We were on our own. So then we ended up going into publishing. We published our own community news magazine, which was a project while I was in community college. And that blossomed into, I mean, this thing was well received on another side of Eastern Shore where my parents were living. And we did that for about 5-6 years. And then my brother and I ended up getting into, I think we got into television at the time. And we started our own production company doing fashion shows and other type of productions involving, you know, models and people in the media world. So we kind of got away from the publishing and everything else just to be like doing stuff like offline, you know, with the community. So that's how I got started before all of this.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's always been a part of you. It's your makeup. It's almost like it's your DNA. Now, were there times in your life where you did not get this opportunity or you ran into times where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore? Or were there issues that you had to deal with or challenges that you faced growing up that may or may not have been connected to, you know, media?
Yeah, the only challenges I saw was that, you know, when you work for big companies, they always have their own media. And, you know, there's a newsletter or whatever, you know, to communicate with the employees. And I was always part of those groups and everything, but it never materialized into a job. And I felt God was speaking to me anyway, because he felt like, I'm going to put you already know that stuff. Why you going to fool around with them? And it's almost like he was going to give me a bigger platform. And I just started envisioning that, especially after reading Think and Grow Rich, and then getting into a lot of Napoleon Hill and Carnegie, and listening to how they was talking about a lot about how you envision these dreams. And if you tick around with it long enough, I mean, I don't mean just put the stuff as a side project, but I mean, you go in hard, it will happen. Because I've had people come to me off the street say, "Hey, man, I know who you are. Here's your app." I was like, wow,
Right.
So it's incredible what God has done for us, and there were some challenges, health, in-laws sick, helping out on that end.
Okay.
Sometimes children growing up, babies,
Right.
So it was a couple challenges.
So right now, how you have everything put together, I call it a family affair, because pretty much almost everybody and just about everyone in your family is connected to your business, your ministry. And so when we think about God and what he does and how he talks about family first, and how he talks about, as long as things are good at home, it helps better excel, strengthen, and empower things outside of home. Such a true statement, such a true principle and way of living. And we see that with what you're doing. How did you get your family connected into how you continue to do what you do in the media industry?
Well, the funny thing is, almost everybody in my family, whether, media family or whatever, has a lot of artistic ability. I have an uncle that writes stage plays. I got another cousin that writes stage plays. I have cousins that have been in radio. So it's like a lot of us have those special skills, this like abnormal type skills. And they have put those skills to work. So I found out that my kids, I wanted to make sure that I exposed them to the arts. I didn't realize that my baby boy could draw as well as he can until he started bringing stuff home, because a lot of his projects were being hung up at the school. So we never got a chance to see him. Because he's not creating no problems, so there's no reason to go visit, except for the first day.
Right.
So my daughter, she was involved with singing. Before she plays drums, guitar, keyboard's her thing, to emulate any artist. She was always traveling with her school, because it was like a magnet school for music. But then really her magnet was foreign language. She speaks French and now Spanish and English.
Come on now, sis.
Yeah. So and she danced. And she was actually in a magnet school for high school for dance. So she had a lot of the skills. So when God started moving me into television, then, he blessed us. I mean, praise God for blessing me with Paula G. She's actually our co-producer. And we started moving into, because we knew so many music artists and everything. And it was easy for us to be able to put together those platforms really, really fast. Right. So
that's good. Yeah. So there was no tension that went in with connecting the family, which is so beautiful.
No, because my oldest son, he actually really catapulted us, because he actually was at Morgan studying telecommunications, and he was actually one of the groups that had pioneered all of the stuff that's going on there with their technology, bringing the radio, because I think they actually have a master's program for journalism now. That's how impactful that, social media has been for colleges, that they actually take all this stuff to a new level. So he was bringing projects home and his cameras, equipment, and I started getting interested in it again, because like you said, I was already in school for it before, but it was a lot different than it is now.
It is now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he helped out with that.
And so the collaborations and the different artists and the different podcasts and the different people that are connected with your, I say business and ministry, because this is the foundation. We're talking about Christian media. And it is a beautiful thing of what we're doing. It's almost like you have two families or one big happy family. Yeah. And especially you're out there, you're putting that marketing out, you're sharing with the people what's going on, et cetera. What would someone that's listening and watching, and somebody that maybe has a podcast or wants one, or is interested in graphics or TV and media, and they're walking with the Lord and they're just trying to find their way out and the direction to go to, give a challenge that you think that they may come up against, but then give how they can overcome it as they begin this journey to get to, let's say they wanted to be where you are or kind of move in the direction that you are, what's a challenge you think they'll face and how they can get into it? And then I want to get into a little bit about the artists that the indie artists that we've talked about before.
I always tell people, if you get into anything, make sure you can do everything yourself, because you may not necessarily have the budget to hire an artist, hire this person to do all this, like I was able to build this network myself because I had a background in electronic technology. That was one of the main things my dad wanted to make sure that, understand the basics of it first before you, and then also read. It's a lot of videos out there. I actually love the movie industry so much, but television was a lot different than film. So I had to take a lot of classes in cinematography and learn lighting and sound, because, just like you see those projectors, it's no microphone connected to those things. It's another person that's in charge of the audio. So you get to learn all of those things. And so I feel like if you read and find out what you can handle, then you won't be frustrated when it doesn't take off the way you want. Because it's going to take time. I always say give yourself 5 years. Because the government going to give you 5 years before they want you to start reporting.
Come on.
So I always say 5 years. Nothing happened in 5 years. Then maybe it was just a hobby.
Right. That's right. That is awesome. And those of you that are listening and watching tonight to the Triumphant Show, we're listening to some nuggets and just some inspiration and just talking about a few things from CEO and founder of Positive Powered Christian Media, Jerry Royce. And Jerry, I want to elaborate and touch on that. And I want to go into something about the indie artists that you're connected with and just nuggets to help them in a certain way. But what you said in terms of knowing and understanding for yourself and knowing how to do it. And it sounds like you didn't put pressure or expectations on anyone but you, because you knew this is what you wanted to do. So you studied it, you pursued it, and you did according to what you were able to handle. Am I speaking correctly?
Yes. And
okay. Because some people may feel like I don't have the resources, the tool, or the help to get something done. But me doing this podcast, it's just me. And I just tell people, when you want to get something done, do according to where you can go, and God will keep adding to that as he sees you faithful with that first level. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I started out in podcasting. That's how I started.
Right. And it just kind of grows from there. And so if you're listening or watching tonight, and as you are, just if you are in the media industry or know someone or wherever you at, you may be a psalmist, you may be in something else in ministry. I just believe that God just blesses us according to how much we give into something and how we handle it at the place that it's at. And we always speak blessings over it and let him enlarge it. And with that enlargement, you've also had the opportunity not only to have many people on your platform, including indie artists and other podcasts, other hosts and announcers, etc. Tell us a little bit about those collaborative efforts. Collaboration is so key in the media industry in order for people to be able to understand who's out there, give people opportunity, and also to create unity. I know that there's some places where there's still discord. There are areas where there may be disunity or whatever, but that's why you have to know who you are and know why you're doing what you're doing. But talk a little bit about your business, your ministry, and how all this collaboration comes together with the different artists and the hosts that you have on these shows.
Yeah, because when I first started back in 2007, I think it was just me. It was way before podcasting really became affordable, because it used to cost like $30,000 to have a podcast at one time. You had to have sponsors back then. And then I was trying to find a way that I could get around that, which I did. Yeah. And it kind of got my name out there. Of course, we only had Yahoo Groups at the time, and Facebook, what's the other thing was called? MySpace. So that was the only platforms you really had. But funny thing, the websites were very effective back then. So I always tell people the collaborations are so important now, because you can't do everything yourself as far as, like, of course you can have a podcast, but if you want to have a radio station, then it need to be more than just you. You got to move it on. So I was able to cross over to other platforms with other artists, like for example, Shay. Shay has several radio shows, and she's actually an owner of a record company and everything, with partners, and I actually collaborate with all of them, her whole executive staff. They help me with getting music. They provide videos, high quality. And when people start seeing you getting quality, because that's always been important to me, because I was actually in publishing for a major publisher in the Baltimore area before all this. So that was the main thing they taught was quality, customers come first, that kind of thing. So when I started bringing these quality people on board, then the shows became really, really powerful because everybody brought something different to the table. I mean, everybody, whether they were strong in theology or they were strong in the gospel industry, or they knew, like Paula G, she specialized in voiceover. So she has that voice to home, with the spirituality piece of it. Lakeisha, she just has that whole naturalness, being on camera. And I took her through the ropes because we were actually doing street TV. We was actually going to venues and out late at night, and bless her husband for allowing that to happen. But I had all over Maryland, but because of that, I believed in her. She got a television show. And of course she has the radio show, but that's how we first met her on Paula's show. But she brought something to the table. And I always tell people too, when you go on somebody's show, treat it like it's your show. Because you don't know who's watching. And that's exactly how Lakeisha got recruited. It was another partner's look and said, man, this girl is something, man. You need to offer her, some kind of deal, and then that's when we started seeing what she could do. Same with Shay. Shay has a natural abilities to friend people really quick and get stuff, get good news out of them. And a lot of the podcasts that we have is like, now this started out kind of rough. They were good what they were doing. But they had a lot of baggage, some of them. But as a manager, you got to be able to deal with that because you bring them in as you call them family.
That's right. And so at the end of the day, when you look at your whole, I'm going to call it empire. What is your goal to, what's your goal in terms of the impact? What do you want to see with all this?
Well, right now it is going according to plan. I mean, everything I speak, when I listen to God and when I see the visions, everything is on course. The main thing now is, we're working on the new children. My brother and I used to always talk about children. We always felt like everything is always adult material, but it's like, well, what are we giving them though? What are we putting in their hands? If you're going to take some can that pacified their hand, what you going to put in their hand? If you take something away. So we always had a concern that we felt like our children weren't really getting real education from our system because it really wasn't built for us. So we feel like, well, we're already being groomed for sports, but how about, a lot of the music is being taken out and there's not a whole lot. You have to go to special schools for those art programs, for theater and stuff. Yeah. But how about developing, because I used to have a Taekwondo program that was for 6 years through Rex and Parks. So I always had a relationship with that. So now we're looking at puppet ministry, where the kids learn how to change their...
Talk to us about the puppet ministry.
Are you ready for it now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
That thing was special. God was talking to me about that for a minute, even before... Because I had a manager for a while that was helping me, put the whole television stuff together with, getting it out there and bringing artists and stuff on board. Basically, she was helping me a lot with collaboration. And shout out to Dr. Trinell. She was really good with putting people together. That was her thing. Yeah. So when she connected me with an artist named Samuel Brown, the Miracle Man, he was telling me, in his presentation, because I wanted to bring him to Baltimore and shoot it. And we was going to try to do like a small little short film, with what he's doing. Even if it was just like a bio of him, a documentary of him doing puppet ministry. So we really didn't know where we were going with it, but for some reason we could never connect. I didn't connect with him until you saw us, that time we was in Atlanta. So anyway, long story short, God started speaking to me once, he started talking to me when Sam was talking to me about how impactful the puppets were to children. He said, man, they'd be there for hours. They had to start giving kids like 10, 15 minutes only. So just so the other kids could get to see them, right? So I said, there's something magical. Because my mom said, yeah, you used to do that when you was young. You used to make everything out of paper and puppets and they make them talk and communicate. I was like, really? She said, yeah. She said, if I punish you for 2 weeks, I'll go in your room and be like a city of puppet people. Paper people everywhere.
Look at that.
Yeah, I had football leagues, baseball leagues, cities, all that stuff, she said. So when I started seeing, when I knew who the character was way before all of this. God was speaking to me. I said, oh, God, when we make a movie, when Denzel Washington playing his character, Skeet Jones. That's what I thought. But, so later on, and at the time, I was kind of messed up because I had really high glucose levels, and my thoughts was just all over the place.
Okay.
So finally, when Samuel was talking to me, and he told me to shop around, and then I started meeting puppet makers. It's a lot of them all over the world. I'm coming from Spain, all over the country, New York, and when I saw the character, the lady showed me, she said, send me a picture. You want me to make it look like you, your son, whatever? So I said, oh, how about my son? So it's like, it blew my mind because it was exactly what God was speaking to me about what he wanted me to do. And now we're talking about story time. We're trying to find Black authors who have published children books to be part of this program because we want kids to be exposed to what they're doing. I've had friends who do that, and they're working on their home movie as we speak. And then with the music, we got some artists out there that produce real children, family-friendly music videos. Right. So we're going to incorporate music. Then we're talking about a tour. We already have established collaborations with venues throughout Maryland where we're going to actually bring, do workshops with the kids so they can come and play with them and learn about theater and talk to them about lighting and, film. We kind of want to incorporate everything to they can understand, say, hey, and I've been online. They have like stop action puppets. It's so many different type of puppets, life size, giant puppets, right? Anything that you can make communicate is a puppet. Really, it could be a shoe.
Right. And the goal, if I can bring this in, is to be able to use something relatable to children where they can still learn about whether it's music or poetry or singing. And through that, you'll use the puppets and you'll also use other artists, adult artists, their music. You'll use, again, those Black authors who are writing books and collaborate with that. Triumphant Family, I want you to hear this. I want you to see how, and I'm going to call it again, this empire God is enlarging and expanding, not just for those in the media industry, but a collaborative effort that reaches to our next generation. Because there is so much that can be learned through the theater and through art. Those of us that did it in school for years and had that creative gene, there's certain things that we know and have excelled at where those that did not have those opportunities and only had maybe not even physical education. They just had class and went home and maybe looked at TV. Now looking just at their phone. How much are we enlarging their mind capacity to gain more? This is awesome, and so with the puppets that you are starting and that you are planning to tour, and you'll come to Atlanta. I know you're coming because we're going to make sure you get promoted to the Triumphant Show, but just share with the listeners and viewers, even if there's someone that sings, there's an indie artist, there is a Black author that is listening and watching, what would you want from them to be connected in this collaboration with the puppets that are going to reach children, not just in your area, but I believe all over the world?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Because for one, it's going to be airing in Atlanta. Right there in DeKalb County, one of the largest and richest counties in Georgia.
Come on.
It's going to be airing there on Comcast. And also it's going to be online too, as well as the Earth Channel. One of the things that's going to be so fantastic, and I'm already communicating with people now who are, songwriters, that we're looking for that beautiful music. And it was funny because I was just dealing with a guy who's a Grammy nominated artist, producer, and he sent me 2 songs in 3 hours. He said, Jerry, I've never done children's music before, but let me try that, and I won't charge you. Gave me 2 beautiful songs, and I used one of them, in a commercial already. Wow. And it was unbelievable. The songwriters. So we just promoted Razel Ben. Razel Ben, all her music to me sounds like something that should be on Disney anyway. Oh. And so we're reaching out to her. We reached out to a Christian hip hop artist out in California. Her and her son already started doing segments for their YouTube channel, so they ready to come on board and be part of what we're doing. So that's opening your opportunity to do stuff with your kid. If you want to read to your child on camera, a book that we can get permission for you to read on that could be part of a ministry, because I feel like our children need to be exposed to a lot of our stuff right now, a lot of our culture right now.
Right.
And because we're not really, to me, entrepreneurs are kind of not really connected with one power source yet. I mean, of course, we're connected with God, the main power source, but I mean, as earthlings, as earth angels, what we call ourselves, we need that connection. So someone said, I heard the show, and this guy is looking for music, and he's looking for stories and books. We're looking for all. You're talking about, this is a weekly show for 28 minutes. It's hard to get up there and animate puppets for up to 10 minutes.
Right,
it's tough. I need segments. So, and something that can speak to children, because you don't know how impact, because I grew up on the Bill Cosby and the Jackson. I think that was all there was for African American cartoons. That was it. But they showed us how to be children. I think Bill Cosby, I think on that show, they were building go-karts and they were playing softball in the back alley lots and stuff. And then we emulated the same thing growing up. We built go-karts, we fixed our own bikes, we had marathon races in our community, we played other neighborhoods in football, and we learned that from watching that TV show, that cartoon. It's incredible.
Right. And nowadays, when we look at what the kids are seeing on TV, it's almost as if they're seeing stuff that's really for our eyes as adults.
Right.
And so they miss the opportunity to understand and go through what it means to be a developing child. And so therefore, when they reach their 40s and 50s, hitting 60s, they're like, well, I don't know nothing about that, because the family or the parents or their situation didn't allow them to be exposed to more than just those adult venues, those adult TV shows, those adult way of life. To me, Jerry, it's not enough just to send your child to Vacation Bible School. It's not enough to say go to church. It's not enough to say go to Bible study. Those are just points of power, if I can just make a play on the words, that infuse us and empower us as young people to begin to eat off the fruit of the Word of God. And it is to make sure when we get outside of the church walls and outside of our parents' home, that we then utilize those tools when we get to a class for clay making, creative writing, drawing, dance, whatever it is. And so I commend you for being open to hear the vision of God, not saying that, Lord, this is too much, but being open to say, hear what God was showing you and taking the steps to do it, because it's going to impact change in so many kids. And I also think it's going to be a blessing to the adults that participate, whether they send a song, whether they is a Black author, it's going to impact their lives as well. So we are just recycling love over and over. We're recycling joy. We're recycling unity. We're recycling togetherness. There's no competition. We're just putting our resources together to impact the next generation. And right now, this is just what we need, considering what is going on in our world. Would you not agree?
That's right. That's why I call it Positive Nation TV.
That's it.
We need that balance right now. Things are really off balance right now with what's going on. It's just the news is too much. And then I like my kids. They really don't really like to watch the news. They always tell my wife, "You watch it too much." Because you got to take this and you got to take that. You got to do. Yeah, we know that. So I think with the little kids, the small kids, they're already upset right now that there's no. It may not be school right now. I think here in Maryland, the government just turned over the powers to the jurisdiction to those superintendents and let them make their own calls how they want to handle it. But I think still the kids got to be excited about something. They're going to go back because they miss their friends. Right. So when they get there, you're going to have a teacher that's nervous now. You don't know day to day. It's like her being a police officer now. She don't know if she's going to make it home. Wake up the next day. So, because I've lost coworkers. I've literally lost coworkers, and it's been wow. It was like whoa. So I feel sorry for the little kids in that area, but it's like okay, media people, We still have artists still making music, still releasing songs. So that means television people, we can't stop what we're supposed to do. We got to keep producing. You got to take your family members and create something, besides talk shows all the time. Because a lot of talk shows on nobody's. I seen one show where, and it was Will Ferrell was on. They were so funny. They actually did this improv piece, the three of them, and it was so funny. And I said, people have to really think outside the box right now. Yeah. Just don't just give us straight up, stuff that's already giving people anxiety already. Give people some comedy. You guys are comedians. That's how you got on television. Make us laugh. Right. We're getting tired of hear you talk about 45 all day. We know what he is. Yeah. You gotta change it up if you can't keep putting it out there about him like that. And he gonna keep acting like that if you keep putting it out there like that. So you gotta become positive and start having fun with TV again. TV gotta be fun. Yeah. Change the narrative. Yeah. It's okay to change the narrative and bring a balance so that way we don't lose the joy. We don't lose. That's from the beginning of the show. Those of you that are listening and watching, I talked about this show and this week being just having the oil of joy, letting that strength. But we also have to contribute to that and not let everything be so dark and dreary. And so I look forward to that. When you talk about, and we're about to wrap up in about 5 minutes, the name Positive Power 21. Where did the numbers come from? Is that based off of anything? Well, positive power. Yeah, Positive Power was actually a newsletter. I was managing a crew of people who had just was merging from two departments merging together, and they weren't happy campers. So when I got there was nobody happy. So I had to put a spin on it. So I started bringing in affirmations. So I had this newsletter, and I'll just pull stuff off the internet, and then we have like little group round tables and stuff. And I was just enforcing positive thinking, positive thinking. You can't do anything about this, so we might as well just make the most out of it. No matter how much you complain, the people who made the decisions not going to change their mind. You're not going to impact them. So let's just have fun. We started having luncheons and get-togethers and bowling parties, and so Positive Nation came from, because that's another part of Positive Power. Right. And of course, plus 21. Of course, I call the company XXI, which is still Roman numerals for 21. Right. But if you look at it visually, it looks like there's three crosses, but there's only two that's showing in the X's and the I. That's actually Jesus. He's come down. Wow. And a lot of people see that when they see the logo. Wow. So 21, you put 2 and 1 together, you got 3. That's the trilogy. Yes. I just believe in, you could be, people don't realize I was close to my deathbed many times with having high glucose levels and so when you're diabetic, and a lot of you guys may start reading articles about this one football player with the Ravens who took it as a challenge as being a type 1 diabetic. And he's a professional athlete, one of the best in the league. So we can no longer use our disease or our setbacks as an excuse not to live. That's right. That's what I believe in,
That is awesome. Listen, family, tonight we have been listening to just some awesome nuggets, some encouragement, inspiration, and the up and coming that Jerry, CEO founder, is doing for Positive Power Christian Media. The empire is just advancing and it's elevating. And I want to give a shout out and so much love to everybody that has a podcast or that host a show through your ministry. God bless everybody, everyone who's connected to you. And if you're watching tonight or listening, those of you that are from Baltimore, God bless you. And I just praise God that you continue to support this awesome gift that the Lord has given us. Tonight I talked about in the beginning, Amazing Grace. It's just something, even if you are watching and listening tonight and you're not necessarily in the media mountain, but you're in another mountain, it does not push you out from still doing the next and knowing that God is giving you an amazing opportunity to do your next in this season, and that it is possible. And when you hear testimonies and discussion, as you've heard from Jerry, and just keep pushing it and making it work and do what you can, God will bless you and he will see it through.
That's right.
It's right now we just have a witness to that. And so, Jerry, God bless you for coming. If you just have a final word for all the listeners and viewers that are watching now or through replay, just share a final nugget or word with them about positive power, yourself, anything that you just want to leave with the audience on tonight.
Well, one thing I want to tell people, you're going to have some negative people in your corner. You guys don't see my wife behind me, do you? Yeah, right. But she still support me. She support me in other ways. But so you got to find out where people are in your life, and you can't push stuff on them. If they're not there, they're not going to be there. They're going to be supportive in other areas, Right. So the main thing I say, there's some people out there that God has gifted you with. Use them. I have a powerful, powerful ministry. I mean, Dr. V, her son Chuck, I could just call them up anytime if I got any words of concern. Paula G, she's a great listener. Even Shay, if I need to talk some business and about stuff, Lakeisha, Mosey, her and I could talk for hours until, because we both got quiet spouses, so we just talk to each other. Right. So it's like you got to find people who's in your corner. It's like God had purposed them to you for a reason. Right. Hey, do your thing. And then in the affirmations, you got to follow with them babies daily, right? That's what your phone does a whole bunch of stuff.
Come on.
Put it in there. You see something you like, put it in your phone. Just keep recycling in your head, because it's going to be a boss. It's going to be a coworker. It's going to be a neighbor who's not going to believe in what you're doing. It's okay. It's okay. But there's a whole lot of other cheerleaders out there. Believe me.
That is good. My God. Wow. That is good. Triumphant family. That's what we're going to chew on tonight. As you begin to get ready to wind down your night and go to sleep, you're going to chew on the fact that, it's always going to be something, but God still will have someone in your corner to fit whatever position they need to fit to help you on your journey. And he just told us that. So I'm excited, Jerry. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for the whole team. Shout out to Paula, Shay, and Lakeisha. And I just pray that God continues to send overflow to positive power, and that you continue to do this awesome work. Thank you for being such a man of your word, with humility, such creativity. Family, if you want to get in touch with Jerry, you've heard about the puppets, you heard about what is coming. It's phenomenal. And you want to just get a nugget or just a right on time word, please reach out to him. Jerry, tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, everything is right out there on positivepower21.org, or you can just Google Jerry Voice Live. It should come up, because we all over the place. All our platforms are all global live. They're all on the major platforms: Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Google. We just got on pray.com, so we're syndicated there. God doing some phenomenal things. Of course, we're on Hulu, Roku, all of the TV shows on all the major. And one of the largest ones, if you really want to get in the Paula G show, go out to our YouTube page. We got stuff on Positive Power that link you to all of our shows, so you don't have to wait for them to air on television. I think Paula celebrated 50 episodes. My daughter celebrated 40. I think a couple radio shows have celebrated 50, 60 radio shows as well. We got some coming up on 25 episodes. So we in for the long haul. You just don't go in with 10 episodes and 20. You got to keep going. I mean, I think I'm at, this year would be my third time hitting 700 episodes.
Woo! Lord.
Yeah, my third time with 700 episodes.
Yeah, God is moving. The fruit is there. The fruit is there.
You got to stay positive, family.
Got to stay positive. All right, everybody. We just had a positive, triumphant show. God bless everybody for joining the broadcast on tonight. I send you blessings to your home, to each and every listener, follower. Bless you. Don't forget to vote for the Spin Awards. You will find Jerry's finish name, on the ballot as well. Vote for us. We're excited. But either way, we just love to do what we do. Am I right, Jerry?
That's right. Yeah. I did my share of award shows. Now it's about doing the work of God. And believe it, y'all, it's a winner just being nominated, because not everybody going to walk away with a trophy. It's not like Little League. Everybody get a trophy.
Right. So we're just thankful.
That's right. That was a win right there.
Jerry, so I'm excited. I'm like, yay. So it's an exciting thing for me just to have a nomination. So anyway, y'all just continue to pray for positive power. If you want to connect like I am and have, please do. And Jerry, thank you for coming on the Triumphant Show. God bless you. We'll definitely be in touch. Everybody have a great night tonight. Don't forget to vote. Remember, if you want to be a guest on the Triumphant Show, just send me an email at SheridaLovelace@gmail.com or Sherida Lovelace Ministries, and follow me on all social media outlets. God bless everybody. We love you, and we are signing out. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Feel the power.
Peace.